思えばリーチさんをはじめたくさんの家臣に恵まれた。みんなが各分野のエキスパートでとどまることを知らずに成長し続けている。僕も頑張らないと。
カナレ軍長はアルス・ローベントに任せる。
What happens when the ability that looks completely ordinary becomes the most powerful weapon in a world filled with war, politics, ambition, and hidden talent? Ars Louvent has never been the strongest warrior, the greatest strategist, or the most intimidating noble in his world. But he possesses something that can change the fate of an entire territory: the appraisal skill, an ability that allows him to recognize the abilities and potential of other people. And now, after the first 2 seasons built Ars from a young nobleman with a small domain into a much more important political figure, his story is officially moving into its next major chapter. Season 3 of As a Reincarnated Aristocrat, I'll Use My Appraisal Skill to Rise in the World Asterisk, is confirmed for fall 2026, and the latest information makes it clear that Ars is no longer simply trying to strengthen a small territory. He has become the Lord of Kanare, he has married Lycia, new talents are waiting to be discovered, and the succession war in Missian is entering a completely new stage. Most importantly, the production team has already warned that a danger unlike anything Ars has faced before is approaching. The road to this 3rd season began immediately after the conclusion of Season 2. When the 2nd season finished in December 2024, the production of a 3rd season was announced, accompanied by a celebratory illustration and a short announcement video. At that moment, there was no release window and very few details were available. Fans knew that Ars and his companions would return, but they had to wait for more information about where the story would go next. That changed in April 2026, when the official production team revealed the first major promotional material for Season 3, and confirmed that the new season would begin broadcasting in fall 2026. So this is no longer a question of whether Season 3 is happening. It is officially on the way. And the newest promotional material gives us a much better idea of the direction. The first key visual shows Ars together with his trusted vassal Reincarnated searching for new talent in the city of Kanare. The visual also introduces 2 characters who are set to become part of the 3rd season's story: Missian and Zat. The official promotional video similarly focuses on Ars's new life after becoming the governor of Kanare, while showing his familiar companions and hinting at new encounters. But the trailer does not make everything look peaceful. Toward the end, the atmosphere becomes considerably darker, suggesting that although Ars has reached a higher position, the responsibilities and dangers surrounding him have also increased. That change in Ars's position is one of the most important things to understand before entering Season 3. In the beginning, Ars was a young nobleman governing a small and relatively weak domain. His greatest advantage was not physical strength, but his ability to see the hidden qualities of other people. Instead of trying to become powerful entirely by himself, Ars used appraisal to discover people with extraordinary potential and bring them into his growing group. That strategy allowed him to gather individuals with abilities that could compensate for his own limitations. His story became less about one reincarnated hero defeating everyone and more about finding the right people, earning their loyalty, and building something powerful together. That basic idea remains at the heart of the series, but Season 3 is bringing Ars into a much larger political world. According to the official material, he has now become the governor of Kanare. That means the young nobleman who once needed to prove that his small territory could survive now has considerably greater authority and considerably greater responsibility. His position has changed, but his method has not. He still needs talented people, and the new key visual makes that clear by placing him and Reincarnated in Kanare as they search for new human resources. The phrase attached to the key visual emphasizes moving forward together with talents they have not yet discovered. For Ars, that search for talent has always been more complicated than simply looking at numbers or abilities. His appraisal skill allows him to see qualities that other people might overlook, and this has repeatedly allowed him to recognize individuals whose potential is hidden behind difficult circumstances or appearances. That is what makes his rise so different from the traditional overpowered Isekai protagonist. Ars does not simply walk into a battlefield and win because he possesses overwhelming combat power. Instead, he creates opportunities by identifying people who can become valuable allies. Season 3 appears ready to continue that formula while placing him in an environment where the consequences of every decision are much larger. The story is also moving forward with the Mission Succession War. The official comments from director Takao Kato are particularly important here because they describe the conflict as entering a new stage. Ars has already grown from a rural lord into a much more significant political figure, and his marriage to Lycia marks another major step in his personal and social development. But the director also makes it clear that the increasing status of Ars comes with increasing danger. The new season is expected to bring new companions, a new stage for the succession conflict, and a crisis that Ars has never faced before. So while Season 3 will continue the series' familiar themes of talent discovery and territory building, the scale of the conflict is clearly expanding. The returning characters are another major reason the third season should feel familiar despite the new challenges. Natsumi Fujiwara returns as Ars Louvent, while Taito Ban continues as Reit's Muses. Narumi Kaho returns as Charlotte Wraith, Miho Okasaki as Rosal Kisha, Kana Hanazawa as Lycia Plaid, Hitomi Nabatame as Myril Grandian, and Haruka Tamatsu as Farm. These characters represent the people Ars has gathered around himself during his journey, and their continued presence means Season 3 is not abandoning the relationships that made the previous seasons work. Instead, the story is taking the established team into a larger and more dangerous phase of their lives. Ars and Reitz are especially important to the new promotional material. Their appearance together in Kanya suggests that the process of searching for talented individuals will continue even after Ars has risen to a higher position. Reitz has been one of Ars's most dependable allies, and seeing the two of them actively looking for new talent reinforces the central concept of the entire series. Ars may possess the appraisal skill, but his success has always depended on the people he discovers and the relationships he builds with them. The new season's focus on Kanya therefore feels like a natural continuation rather than a complete change of direction. Then there are Musha and Zat, two new characters specifically highlighted in the Season 3 key visual. Their inclusion is one of the clearest signs that Ars's network is about to expand again. The official announcement does not reveal every detail about their roles, so it would be wrong to pretend we already know exactly how their stories will develop. What we do know is that they are new characters appearing in the third season, and that the promotional material places them among the new talents Ars is expected to encounter. Their introduction should therefore be one of the major elements to watch when the new episodes begin. Behind the scenes, the core production team is also continuing into the third season. Takao Kato is directing the anime at Studio Mother. Daisuke Higashi is handling the series' composition, Yuko Yahiro is responsible for character designs, and Kujira Umemi is composing the music. The original work comes from Murray Jin-A, with character illustrations by Jimmy, while the manga adaptation is illustrated by Natsumi Inao. This continuity is significant because the same creative team has been responsible for shaping the anime's identity through the earlier seasons, and their return means the third season is being developed as a continuation of the established production, rather than a completely reimagined version. The original series itself has also continued to grow, while the anime has been moving forward. The official Season 3 promotional information states that the series has surpassed 6.8 million copies in cumulative circulation, while the original web novel has surpassed 100 million page views. The official promotional material also lists 8 light novel volumes and 20 manga volumes as being available. Those numbers help explain why the story has continued to receive anime adaptations, and why there is still substantial material surrounding Ars's journey. Another major update arrived just this week, and it concerns the music. Riko Sasaki has been announced as the performer of the Season 3 opening theme, titled Still Water. The song is built around the theme of the importance of holding onto one's convictions. Its concept focuses on the emotions that arise between ideals and reality, while the song itself is described as a powerful alternative rock track with a strong sense of momentum. That theme fits especially well with where Ars is now. He has reached a position that his younger self could hardly have imagined, but his responsibilities have grown at the same time. The opening song is therefore being positioned around perseverance, uncertainty, conflict, and continuing forward despite those pressures. Still Water is also scheduled to receive a physical single release on November 11, 2026. The single will contain 3 tracks, and the artist edition will include a Blu-ray featuring the music video for Still Water, along with making-of footage. This is the most recent major music announcement connected to the season, arriving only days before the current date, which makes it one of the freshest pieces of information available about the upcoming anime. As for the broadcast itself, the official announcement confirms that Season 3 will air in fall 2026 in the Agaru anime programming block on CBC and TBS, across a nationwide network of 28 stations in Japan. At the moment, the official announcements confirm the fall 2026 window rather than giving a specific premiere day, so there is no reason to invent an exact date. What is certain is that the wait is almost over compared with where fans stood after Season 2 ended. The 3rd season has moved from an early production announcement to a full promotional campaign, with a key visual, a first promotional video, returning cast and staff, new characters, and an opening theme already revealed. The first promotional video is particularly interesting because it appears to represent a transition in Ars's life. It begins with Ars's own monologue, and then introduces his familiar vassals before showing his new life as the governor of Kanya. The focus gradually shifts toward the people he is going to meet and the possibilities that come with those encounters. But the final portion of the video introduces a darker atmosphere, and that contrast is important. Ars has achieved more than ever before, yet the story is warning us that greater success does not mean greater safety. In this world, every promotion comes with new responsibilities, and every political victory can create new enemies or new dangers. That is exactly why Season 3 could become one of the most important stages in Ars's journey. The first seasons established the rules of his world and showed how his unusual skill could turn apparently ordinary people into extraordinary assets. Now he has reached a position where those skills must operate on a much bigger scale. He is no longer simply building a small domain from the ground up. He is managing a more important territory while becoming increasingly involved in the political struggle surrounding the succession of Missian. His decisions can affect more people, and the dangers he faces can no longer be solved simply by finding one more talented ally. There is also an interesting contrast at the center of Ars's character. His rise has never been based on arrogance. Despite his position and his special ability, the official comments repeatedly emphasize his growth while describing him as someone who remains humble. Even after becoming a major lord and marrying Lycia, Ars is still the same character who understands that his strength comes from the people around him. That humility is likely to become even more important as his responsibilities increase. A character can survive a dangerous world by becoming stronger, but Ars's entire philosophy is about recognizing strength in others and bringing people together. And that brings us back to the question that makes Season 3 so exciting. What happens when a character who has always succeeded by discovering hidden potential is finally placed in a situation where his own limits are being tested? The official director's comments provide the clearest warning so far. The Mission succession war is entering a new stage, and an unprecedented crisis is approaching Ars. We do not need to guess what that crisis will be, and we should not pretend the promotional material has revealed details that it has not. But the official information is enough to establish that Season 3 will not simply repeat the previous seasons. Ars has grown, his territory has grown, his responsibilities have grown, and the scale of the danger is growing with him. So when as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world returns in fall 2026, the central idea remains beautifully simple. Ars sees potential where other people do not. But now the stakes surrounding that ability are higher than ever. Kanya gives him a new position and new opportunities. Musha and Zat bring new faces into the story. His trusted companions return to stand beside him. The succession war moves into another stage. Lycia remains part of Ars's new life after their marriage. And somewhere ahead, according to the production team itself, a crisis unlike anything he has previously encountered is waiting. The most exciting part is that Ars does not need to become a completely different hero for the story to become bigger. His greatest strength has always been the ability to look at someone and recognize what they can become. Season after season, that simple talent has transformed his circumstances. Now he has reached the point where his appraisal skill, his leadership, his relationships, and his ability to bring talented people together will all be tested against a much larger political reality. And with the third season's promotional campaign now underway and Riko Sasaki's Still Water, preparing to introduce the new chapter with a song about conviction and moving forward through uncertainty. The return of Ars Louvent is shaping up to be one of the notable fantasy anime continuations of fall 2026. The exact premiere date has not been officially announced yet, but the season itself is confirmed, the new material is already here, and the next chapter of Ars's rise is finally within reach.